Well, thank you. I'll start our timer. Our next presentation is interprofessional education, and our 15 minutes starts now. So it has been a wonderful journey, this interprofessional collaboration, and you'll get to hear some exciting things that we've been doing here at Southern, and we will hear it's just been a really awesome, all right, so smile for the camera real quick, smile, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, so we started this, you'll hear more about when we started, but we got funding from the Academic Research Committee and Polly's Outreach Ministries, and this is a study that we did right here at Southern. That's me.
Yes, so how many of you remember September 11th, 2001? You realize that this year it's 25 years since that event happened. Yeah, I'm sure you can all remember, you know, the feelings, the sentiment. Doesn't matter where in the world you were. I can see that all of you are of the age to have some memory of where you were. Unfortunately, these days we speak to younger and younger people where it's footnotes in textbooks or it's an AI Google search for some information on it. Unfortunately, there are many disasters, right, that continue to occur in the air, in the land, at sea, and these natural disasters are sometimes naturally occurring, and other times they are man-made. Sometimes safety considerations are ignored for the sake of risk mitigation of, well, we won't take care of it now because it's not a problem, and then ultimately it creates problems on the bigger end. And that's just an ongoing cycle that is not abating. The losses are incredibly, they are actually increasing. Not only are they increasing in the dollar value of what it costs to recover from it, but the number of people that are affected and the complexity with which recovery takes place. Many of you in this area who are local remember Hurricane Helene, which was supposed to have been a Gulf-related phenomenon that pushed upward into the Tennessee region, into the northeastern end of Tennessee, and created massive destruction and loss of life. As we all know, as you can turn to the memory verse behind you, which for those of you online, John 16:33, says, I've told you these things about how he will be, Christ will be with you, right? Always. He's overcome the world. But we have much to prepare for. We have much to stand ground on, and we have much to do to help build our confidence and resilience. This particular project with Ronda and my colleagues here is very important because September 11th, I lost my brother at the World Trade Center in New York City. He was 36 years old, and it was his first day at work. And to this date, we have not received any remains of him. He is still particles of some sort in the coroner's office at the base of the 9/11 memorial in New York City. So clearly that set a specific trajectory of how I am here standing with you guys today.
Okay, she has me on a timer, so I'm going to be careful how I tell my stories. In the beginning, it was fall of 2015, we had a lunch and learn every Wednesday. Some of you who are here remember that. And typically in lunch and learn, you see the social workers at one table, the educators at the nurses at I broke the mold. And I went over to talk to some of my friends who were in nursing and social work, and they were talking about this mass casualty simulation that they wanted to get going. And I said, well, educators need to learn about that. Teachers have casualties in the classroom all the time. In this day and age, unfortunately, we have a lot of mass shootings in classrooms. And so I said, well, let me get my students involved. I was at that time teaching intro to education for elementary students. And so we got together and we made this happen. This is a picture of a bunch of us. I won't read all of the names, but from various places across the campus, education, nursing, social work, campus safety. And then also some from outside of our university. From Heritage Academy, we had some really talented teenagers that came down and did moulage and things like that. Is this where I tell the story or later? Later, okay.
Well, no, go ahead. Tell your
Okay,
story.
well, so once I had a student, we were doing a simulation. I told them, okay, you all are students, and these are college students. You are students in a one-room school. And Joel, because you are a Bible teacher and you just got roped into being principal of this little one-room school, because that's what we do. We just pull you in, whether you're ready for it or not. Ready or not, here I come. And so in the aftermath, after we had the moulage all done, Joel was limping around the classroom because his wound was an abrasion to his ankle. And he passed by one of the other students and he teared up. He said, she's dead. She's dead. She was my best student. I sent her to answer the door because there was a knock at the door. She was one of my best students. And now she's dead. And I thought to myself, as a classroom teacher myself, how often do we send the best kid in the classroom, the most responsible person, to answer the door when there's a knock at the door? And it became suddenly very real to that group of students.
Part of that realism is accomplished through moulage, which is a form of theatrical makeup that gets applied to specific wound typologies. So if a particular scenario simulation is an active shooter, then you're looking for bullet wounds, you're looking for entry and exit points, you're looking for fractures, for in the mad rush to find cover, people, get strains and sprains, they get shrapnel pieces, right? So you try to mimic what wounds a particular responder would be coming in and viewing first set of eyes on the scene. And that's a very important part of a simulation process, which is to mimic as best as you can, to simulate as best as you can the environment and the setting and the circumstances that a student is going to be run through. And as you can see, there are abdominal wounds, there are head wounds, et cetera. Some of them are kill shots. Some of them are wounds on individuals who potentially are alive, but are now seeking in panic, dealing with emotional trauma as well. So that is Heritage Academy, who has been very helpful in their students being prepared as part of their curriculum to go out and to not only respond to disasters, but also to help other agencies, organizations to run simulations by providing the moulage component to the simulation design. And as you can see here, these were the students that participated in just one of the many active shooter scenarios that took place here on campus at Southern. And that also includes setting the stage. It's not just the wound typology that you're concerned with, it's what is the setting for the particular event. The more destruction, right, the more issues that occur, well, you need your debris field to look like it actually has happened.
And then COVID hit, so we had to do online.
Hot wash is the debrief that you conduct afterwards, right? How did it make you feel? What are some of the takeaways that you have? Tell me what the experience was like. And it's amazing what students will reveal about their perception of having run through the experience. Being prepared is one of those things that you would think schools are a safe place, right? Educators, parents, you all think that you're in a safe place, but that is not the case these days. Nowhere is safe. So it's important that schools be prepared.
So, and for the purpose of the study, we want to discover their perceptions of how our simulation impacts them for their readiness for practice. So we did a mixed methods design. Our sample, we had education students, nursing students, religion students, social work students, and journalism communication students. And so we would do this every semester, so fall and winter. So we had 527 who participated in the survey. It was like a required class activity, but we couldn't make them to participate in the study. So majority were female. We did have IRB approval. We had a worship with the pre-brief, self-care. Then they actually did a start, triage, simulation, hot wash. We did quantitative and qualitative data analysis.
For our quantitative data analysis, we looked at what the comfort level was with the students participating in this disaster experience. And we were pleased to see that nearly 70% agreed or strongly agreed that they were now comfortable with this disaster experience, because it's pretty intense. By the time you turn the lights off and people start crying, and it starts to be an intense situation. So we were pleased with that number. We were also very pleased with the importance that spirituality, the nature of this. We were careful to bring this as a component in. Whenever you have a disaster, we want to bring in prayer, we want to bring in Christ, and we were so pleased to see that near 80% felt that this was spirituality was an important part of having this in disaster preparedness. We saw that nearly 80% strongly agreed that they felt they were better able to contribute to their community. They felt that they had now had some skill sets that they were able to move forward should a disaster happen. And they were also better prepared to assist in a classroom disaster. So whether it's a community or a classroom disaster, they felt they were in a good place to be prepared. My preparedness level to respond was adequate. This number was lower than what we might have thought. And one of the reasons that we suspected was that students, once they had this experience, thought, I need more preparation. I need to have a deeper experience here. So we were thinking that we would want to repeat this in different scenarios in different ways, and maybe we could get that metric to come up.
So when it comes to qualitative results, we had student responses on the spectrum. So you can see here some examples of that. Hey, I felt it was intense, it was real, it was frightening, but it really kept me on my toes. It helped me identify the areas for improvement, and we had the ones in the middle, like neither great, neither bad. It's kind of indifferent, which we would expect. But there were a couple of things that we really noted and noticed in the students' responses. One was that this type of event helped them sharpen their skills. And I bolded some of these words in their takeaways because they are important for us to understand that we teach our students to think things through. In an emergency, you don't have time for that. So we have to teach our students to think things through in a fraction of a second. And that has been part of my own practice and teaching in what I teach with my students in the crisis and emergency management courses. You don't have time. It seems like forever, but you don't have time. The training and collaboration. The students really appreciated the fact that they could see and understand other professions' perspectives. And that for us was a huge win, because oftentimes we work in silos. From a faculty takeaways perspective, we as faculty, we understood that students need to understand the different roles and the fact that sometimes you have to step in. As Faith mentioned, tag you're it, there's no one else. Students need to have these skills because unfortunately the number of disasters, both natural and man-made, have not come down since 2015 when we started this. They actually have increased almost exponentially. We need to collaborate with each other. We need to learn how to speak each other's language, professional language. We need to be confident in our skills, be able to bring those skills in a fraction of a second, become internalized, become instinctual. From a faith, because I have the chance to work most with our religion and our students, social work students, they really appreciated the fact that they could make mistakes in a safe place. Oh, I should have, or I could have. That's excellent lesson, because when they are going to be placed in a similar situation, they will know what not to do, or they will know how to adjust. And especially it helped with empowerment.
Education. Oh, sorry.
No stories, but if you want stories, see me afterwards. So it was a safe setting. The students saw the importance of having a disaster plan and saw how chaos and turmoil could challenge what they had planned to do. And they could also see the impact on not only the victim, but also the victim's loved ones.
Nursing.
So when you think about the simulation aspect of this particular study, think about how important running students through situations where they're going to be under stress, under crisis. There are standards. The International Nursing Association of Simulation and Clinical Practice, ultimately in NOXL, they have standards that run simulations and say what these specific criteria are that you should be meeting when you do this with your students. And when you think about what we can do for preparing students for disasters, empowering them, giving them the faith, the confidence, and reassuring them that though these things happen, right, we're going to do our best to prepare you because that's the best we can do.
Here's the QR code if you want our PowerPoint, and I will upload it. So there we go. We're like 30 seconds over. So we did good with 5 educators up here. All right. Thank you so much.